Hello everyone, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another lesson in our ongoing French course. In this lesson, we're going to look at a very important verb, the verb répéter. If you learn languages, this verb takes on a whole new meaning for you. So this is the verb to repeat in English, répéter in French. First, a little bit about the origin of this verb. Where did it come from? Well, it's from Latin, repetere, which means to do or say again. So it hasn't changed much in meaning from Latin to French. It's made up of the prefix re, which means again, and the verb petere, which means to go to attack, or to ask for. So in French, it's répéter. In Spanish, it's the verb repetir. In Italian, ripetere, and of course in English, to repeat. So répéter is a regular ER verb, which means you'll use the regular ER verb endings that you already know. And it's one of those spelling change verbs. We've already had a couple in the previous lessons. So this is the next in line. So we're going to start with the root. And when you add your ending for the subject pronoun je, notice there's going to be a spelling change. What happens to the accent aigu? Well, it changes when I add the e. Notice the little change there. So here's the root, or the stem. It's a stem. And when you add the e, the letter changes, the spelling changes. Okay, so je répète, I repeat. Tu. We have our root, or our stem, and we add the ending, the es for tu. And notice the change there. There's the magic happening right there. Okay. Il, elle, on. We have our root, or our stem, and we add the ending, and the spelling change occurs when we add the ending. For the nous and the vous forms, you already know from our previous lessons that these two forms do not change spelling when you add the endings. So we have our root, or our stem, and we add the ending, répétons. For vous, we have our root, and we add the ending, répétez. And then finally, the il, elle form, the plural. We start with our root, and the spelling change will happen in this one as I add the ending. Okay, so there it is. The verb répéter in the present tense. Je répète, tu répètes, il, elle, on répète, nous répétons, vous répétez, and il, elle répète. So this is a pretty straightforward verb. You don't need to use an object or another word with it. You can just use it by itself. So once you know how to conjugate this verb, then you can say fun, exciting things like repeat, répéter, répéter. If you've ever sat in a live French class, I'm sure you've heard répéter, répéter, répéter. You can also say something like, and I repeat, et je répète, et je répète. For emphasis, you could say, please repeat. Répétez, s'il vous plaît. Répétez, s'il vous plaît. Répétez, s'il vous plaît. Again, if you've been in a French class, I'm sure your instructor, professor, teacher must have said at one time, you must repeat, you must repeat, one must repeat, one must repeat. How do you say that in French? Remember, we had a lesson on il faut, the verb falloir. Il faut répéter. Il faut répéter. You must repeat. One must repeat. All right, well, that's it for this lesson. Remember that répéter is grouped with these other verbs that have a similar spelling change, where the accent aigu changes to the accent grave in all of the forms except for the nous and the vous. So espérer, to hope, préférer, to prefer, répéter, to repeat, exagérer, to exaggerate, protéger, to protect. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for still being here at the end of the video. I hope that your French is progressing nicely. I'm sure it is. The more you practice, the more it will progress. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. Subscribers, thank you so much for your support. To go on to another lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. À bientôt.